$1 million man always gets his way. I'm Vin.
I'm Sori.
If you would like to get your song reviewed, dear listener, there's the filthy capitalist option. As Sori says, $125 gets you straight to the head of the line. You don't have to be a part of the alliance. You don't have to be part of the group.
Wait a minute.
And the biggest thing is you don't have to wait. You hop, skip, and jump right in front of everybody. $125 gets you there. You do that 3 times, and you get mashed down to the $75 rate for perpetuity.
Yes!
Also, there is a band review option. So if you've got a band and you're trying to get your band some exposure, hit me up at vinsori@gmail.com, and I'll show you the details about how to pull that off.
You can also jump on Patreon, and there is a option on the tiers to be able to get your band reviewed. Obviously, we can't lie to you, so we can't guarantee a positive review. Get what you get.
It's just rubbish.
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 That's British for garbage.
My favorite is the community option. $1 at the gate gets you in at Patreon. You get to join an alliance. The alliance joins their points together, and that helps determine what songs that we do.
The alliances hang out on Discord.
Message me on Patreon to get the link.
And they do all kinds of other cool things. They do Minecraft, Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. It's really a community within the community. Anybody can go in the village, facebook.com/Vin and Sori. There's 160,000+ people on the channel. What's cool about the Discord is that it offers a real opportunity for community connection, friendship, that type of thing.
And it's on Discord, so if you're not a Facebook person, it's for you.
You start off at $1.
Right.
Plus you get exclusives. Sori and I are working on a song. So the first 15 seconds of that was on Patreon. Also, at $15 tier and above, when we actually debut the video, they're going to be there live with us. There you are, dear listener.
Buy our merch.
Okay, so welcome back. Our internet has been gone for...
It's still, I don't think, is going that great.
It's still choppy. we were on a good little thing there, and then the internet died on us. But
our
never
kids
you
were happy.
Yeah, our kids were happy. We spent time with them, but holy moly.
So we are going to do another Tom MacDonald song. This one's called Church.
Yep.
This one's for the big homie Brian.
Brian Moxley.
Yep. So let's see what Tom is going to say this time.
For sure. Let's do it.
I need a short drink or a long prayer. I've been sober, but I don't care. I'm so scared of my own self, I get no help, and that's no fair, so don't go there. I've been hell and back. I got scorched hair in this Gucci cap. I got empty bottles and 1 million follows. I regret swallowing the Ativan. Yeah, let's be real, I resent the way that I feel. I pretend that it's cool, but I miss getting drunk, and I'm angry that God doesn't help when I kneel. I said my prayers, when I got clean, it just got worse. I quit doing drugs and I pleaded with Jesus to save me, but he didn't hear my words. The don't work, it hurts. I went to church, now I need liquid courage. Whiskey in my glass, I take the knives out of my back to stir it. Go to hell and back again, then show you burns to prove I earned it. I need shots of God to gain the strength I need, I'm just a person.
I pray on my way to the liquor store that they lock the door, 'cause I'll lay in my grave if the whiskey pours like it did before. I'm scared, I send out a prayer. Can anybody hear me? Is anybody there? 'Cause honestly it hurts and every day's worse. I keep buying whiskey when all I need is church. I keep talking to God, but he don't hear me. And my demons are there, always listening. I get lost in the dark, drowning in whiskey. And I went in so far, you say you miss me. I'm on a ship in a bottle, so say goodbye at the shore. Break the glass so you'll find me, I'm not who I was before. Close my eyes in the darkness and hold on through the storm. I'm a wreck in a bottle, I wasn't built for a war. Those church pews, bright lights, whiskey glasses, bottles of booze. Make short days, turn long nights. The bottle, the Bible, I didn't know what to choose. I pray on my way to the liquor store that they lock the door, 'cause I'll lay in my grave if the whiskey pours like it did before. I'm scared, I send out a prayer. Can anybody hear me? Is anybody there? 'Cause honestly it hurts and every day's worse. I keep buying whiskey when all I need is church. I can't read, but the Bible's still with me.
My eyes can't see from the bottles of whiskey. I don't believe anybody will miss me, and I'm on my knees. Tell me, God, are you listening? I pray on my way to the liquor store that they lock the door, 'cause I'll lay in my grave if the whiskey pours like it did before. I'm scared, I send out a prayer. Can anybody hear me? Is anybody there? 'Cause honestly it hurts and every day is worse. I keep buying whiskey when all I need is church.
Jeez, man, that was
Wow.
deep. That was deep. That
Yeah.
was deep.
Some of the lyrics here were.
Yeah, we're academic with this stuff.
When
Yeah,
he said, "I pray on my way to the liquor store that they lock the door, because I'll
yeah,
lay in my grave if the whiskey pours like it did before."
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
scared. I send out a prayer. Can anyone hear me? Is anybody there? Because honestly, it hurts, and every day it's worse. I keep buying whiskey when all I need is church. I couldn't even believe it when he said that. Friggin' blew me away. I was so surprised.
That all he needed was church.
Yeah, because a lot of times, like, people, that's the first time I've ever heard anybody come out and say that.
Right.
Usually, people are like, I'm having problems, but to come out and say that the solution to his problem is that he needs church.
Yeah.
I don't know. That was really surprising. And then obviously, so I've been thinking a lot about the concept of, well, go ahead. I'll get to that part.
Go ahead. Skip.
It might be a little bit premature. So he's talking about, like, where was it where he was like praying? Okay. He says, F it, let's be real. I resent the way I feel. I pretend that it's cool, but I miss getting drunk. And I'm angry that God doesn't help when I kneel. F it. I said my prayers.
When I got clean, shit just got worse.
Yeah. I quit doing drugs and I pleaded with Jesus to save me, but he didn't hear my words. This shit don't work. It hurts. I went to church. Now I need a liquid courage.
Yeah.
So I was thinking about this concept of, because we hear a lot of people in our channel say, I was praying and God didn't hear me. I was praying and there was nothing and there was no answer. It's just, you just let me sit there, and obviously that makes people feel like, okay, God doesn't want me, or there is no God. He doesn't love me. Yeah. He's never going to show his face to me or let me know who he is. So I was praying about that. And I was like, so there was a song I was listening to, and it was basically saying, like, we were, maybe a lot of people, I don't know, maybe people can relate to this, that you're taught growing up, if you grow up in a religious home, you're kind of taught how to pray, bow your head, say your prayers, fold your hands, and say the right words, like, never to be, like, cursing or saying exactly how you feel to God. You kind of flower it up a little bit. That's not how you came around, but, like, lots of people that I know, that's how it is. But anyway, in this song, she was basically saying, like, that's not how he wants me. Like, God wants us to just say what we really think or how we really feel. So anyway, I was praying about this idea that, there's certain people. I've got two people, one male, one female, that were on my mind when I was praying about it. And I was like, Lord, I don't understand why these people are asking you and you're not even coming to them. Like, you're not showing yourself to these people. I don't understand why you're doing this. Yeah. And then,
or not doing this.
Yeah. Or not doing this. Like, what's going on? And then it was kind of a little bit emotional. I don't know. It's probably gonna make you feel weird, but, like, in that moment when I said that, I saw the intro to our channel. We were, like, laughing and doing that thing. And he was like, I am. The fact that they saw our video and said, how come I don't have that, is evidence that he already is answering that prayer, because we didn't plan this channel. Newsflash. We never did. We just started doing this, and then our channel was our channel. We just happened to be Christians doing what we're doing. But we didn't have a plan in this. But obviously God had a plan in it. And so I just thought, well, that's interesting. you know.
And we still don't. I have a plan as far as like how to support our family and stuff with this channel.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean and you know, I read all the emails, vinandsori@gmail.com. You got the Patreon, but yeah, there isn't a week that goes by where they're, by the way, M. Bellamy, I haven't forgotten. Okay? So I'll say this, in the next 3 days we'll have our chat. But yeah, I mean, yeah. And you know, it's interesting because we had a one-on-one with Ian. Well, a one-on-one. A one-on-two, I guess you could say.
Or 1-on-3, I had Reza.
You had Reza. Yeah, and we were talking
So Ian was obviously the male that I was thinking of.
Oh, it was?
Yeah, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
I was praying about Ian and...
Yeah.
And our witch friend, which I don't even know she's a witch anymore. Or you know what I mean? You know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
I don't know. Put her on blast.
We're gonna do a review with her pretty soon.
Yeah.
Once we get caught up with these other reviews.
But beautiful little girl.
But like, I was talking to him about God and the principle of reversal. Mm-hmm. How, because you know, he asked a classic problem of evil question, and you know, it was an hour and a half discussion. So I'm not gonna do any justice to the discussion by, you know, whatever. But what I will say is, I said, you know, I hope he's not mad at us for bringing him up, but I did say,
I wasn't going to, just to be
you know,
clear.
I did say, like, anytime there's a bad situation where God doesn't come through, I always look for the principle of reversal. Like, every single time it's happened, you know. And
I think you need to explain what the principle of reversal is.
Well, that, you know, there's a horrible thing that God sets in your path that you have to go through. And the good that God brings out of it is not equivalent to the bad that it cost you. So, like, one example that I give all the time is childbirth, which is, you know, for the most part, pray as much as you want. God is not going to take away the pain of childbearing. It is a horrible pain, and in that sense, it is evil. Childbirth is evil in the technical sense of the term, evil as far as pain, discomfort, that type of thing. But we all look at childbirth actually as a good, because the good that comes from childbirth is a lot more good than the pain was bad. And obviously, as a dude, I'm saying that, so I'm just going to have you affirm it.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I just looked up your definition of the word evil. I'm not seeing what you're saying. Yeah, absolutely. The pain of people wouldn't keep having kids if it was like, and it's excruciating. It's like literally, it's a little bit traumatic in a sense, but you know, obviously, like, it doesn't even take that long after, and then I'm like, oh man, you know, I'm ready for
you hold the kids and
yeah.
And so that's the principle of reversal. Ra is the Hebrew word for evil, and it means disaster, pain, suffering, whatever.
Oh.
It's just a catch-all for anything. But you know, I form light and create darkness. I do good. I do evil. I, the Lord, do all these things. He says I do evil. He's talking about Ra. That's why the New International Version, other versions say I bring disaster instead of saying I bring evil. Whatever. All right. But so that's the principle.
True when it says like that you're supposed to, like, for the evil day. There's something about the evil day.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
It's not necessarily talking about like a day where like the demons are on
right.
It
just
bad
means
day.
you're having a bad day, and so you're supposed to prepare for that.
So that's the principle of reversal. So like there's a lot of irony to, you know, like, you know, when he brought up that question, and I said, Ian, have you been helped by this channel ever? And he said, of course, mate, blah 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 blah. And I'm like, Ian, all of us have been brought together by our mutual pain.
Yeah.
I became a metalhead because I was in serious pain.
Yeah.
And we actually started the channel because we were burnt out on ministry and church drama, and we wanted to do something like completely opposite to it. So I found something that was like completely opposite to ministry work.
Yep.
Which in my mind was, let's listen to the most extreme heavy metal we possibly can. And that's gonna be like as far away from church life as possible. Yeah. We won't interact with any of those people, and so like that's what was going on.
For the most part, they haven't found us.
That's what's been going on.
That's so funny. Okay.
They haven't found us, but then we found our tribe.
I know, yeah.
Because these are our folks.
Yeah.
Right. So like Ian is like a lifelong, like, if Ian needs a kidney, I would give him a kidney. Like that like, and there are a whole bunch of people like that from the channel. So I'm not gonna say, look, we started this channel, you get a whole, but like, there's degrees of, you know, I talk to Leah almost every other day about politics or whatever. I'm trying to get her to post on Middle America. I'm gonna give her the password and all that stuff. Go in there, let it fly, Leah. So like, there's just like, you know, there's you know, like, as I was just saying, Ian, you know, we started the channel. We found each other through, you know, mutual pain, and then we started the channel, and the channel is all 2,400 songs we've done are people in pain for the most part.
Yeah.
There are very few Modest Mouse, you know, type songs. It's all gonna be all right. Like Float On.
Right.
Like, the vast majority of the songs that we have listened to are people in serious pain.
Yeah.
And so it's like, you know, as if you're saying, so like, the irony obviously is, as he's saying that God isn't answering his prayer and things like that, and, you know, he needs liquid courage and church isn't working, but he's still struggling. This song is going to be used by God to help so many people.
100%.
And it's there that you find the answer as to that explains God's silence.
Yeah.
In the moment, Tom, you didn't see. All you're seeing is a guy that's trying to overcome alcoholism, and, you know, he mentions Ativan, things like that.
Yeah.
That's all he sees of himself. And this is another reason God doesn't answer prayer the way that we want. And, you know, it's a hard pill to swallow. But here are the facts. It isn't all about you. Sometimes you suffer to alleviate the suffering of other people.
Yeah.
That's just, you know, Paul talked to, I bear all things for the sake of the elect.
Yeah.
And I remember one time I was having a really difficult conversation with Jesus. And I was in my closet and I was struggling and I was praying and I was like, she's killing me. Not sorry. I said, she's killing me. And, you know, it was one of those things where I always feel bad telling this story. That's why I don't tell it a lot, because I feel like it is impossible for a person to know what it's like to be rebuked by Jesus unless it's happened, because it's one of the best feelings in the world. For me, anyway. It's just one of the best feelings in the world.
Well, whenever it's what he means is like when God is like telling you, it's not
you're
like
off here.
Yeah, but it's not like, man, you're off, and there's like hope that's in it. It's like, it's the
like
most... if you've been struggling to try to put something together and you cannot figure out how to do it, and then somebody comes and says, hey, you put the pieces this way and that's how it works.
But it wasn't,
and you're like excited because you're like, okay, like
but I didn't really get that kind of an answer in the prayer. So I was praying, I'm like, she's killing me. And Jesus basically said, yeah, I know how you feel. My girl killed me too. And obviously, as a Christian, we believe that the church is the bride of Christ, and that we all had a hand in killing Christ, who's married to the church, right? And so Jesus was saying, yeah, that's what I called you to. Yeah, she's killing you. I know she's killing you. But
I remember.
Yeah, so, I mean, it was a hard conversation, and I obviously couldn't see this. But yeah, man, like, he said that to me, and that gave me enough courage for, you know, the next 3 months. I mean, I didn't get the resolution to my pain and suffering till like literally a decade later. Like, there's probably about a 10 year gap in between when I was praying that and, you know, being where we are now. Jeez. But yeah, it was a hard thing, but, you know, like, God had his plan. You know, and if she would have been a walk in the park, Orion wouldn't be here, Raisa wouldn't be here. Like, it's just so, and you know, I'm going through it with my kids. You know, my kids are having to see, you know, some of you guys know, you know, you know, some of you know more than others, but like, you know, to this day, my kids are dealing with really painful situations that they shouldn't have to deal with.
Yep.
And
Facts.
I get very, very angry, and then I think to myself about the amazing, incredible things my kids have done in the world.
Oh, I know.
I mean, I'm not going to get into specifics, but these kids have like put it on the line.
Oh, yeah.
In ways that many adults will never do in their entire lifetime.
Mm-hmm.
And my kids, like, they're just different. Every parent feels that their kid is, you know, whatever, but my kids are qualitatively different than any other group of kids on the planet.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of that has to do with what they've dealt with and things like that. It's made them empathetic and things like that. You know, like even Dorian with his, you know, republicanism or whatever. There was a situation that happened. This girl lost $200 or whatever. He was crying. He was on the phone. He's like, "Can you help?" Blah blah blah. Like he was extremely hurt, you know, for this girl. And you know, again, and they've done incredible stuff. I'm talking about, like, I don't know, that girl could have died that night.
Yeah.
She had a broken jaw, broken nose, and my 15-year-old son. Actually,
I think he was 14 at the time.
It was on Halloween night, so he had just turned 15. He runs into the thick of the battle. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
Like,
I know.
He was like,
yeah.
And terrible situation, but he probably saved the girl's life.
Yeah.
And he would not have done that.
Yeah.
Had he not been raised the way that he was. So, like, a lot of your suffering, a lot of it is like, we tend to be very insular, and why is this happening to me? Why am I going through this? Why? Obviously, God chose Tom and said, "Yep, you're going to go through this. I'm not going to answer the prayer this way that you want for you, because if I answer it this way for you now, I'm not going to be able to help the millions of people that you're going to be able to help." It was funny because when we were in the whole Tom MacDonald controversy, somebody said something about, like, being a hog or something like that. I was like, "What's a hog?" And that's a symbol of Tom's fan base. His fans are called Hangover Gang, HOG.
Oh, okay.
Tom's an alcoholic, struggled for years after becoming sober, and speaks out a lot about sobriety in his music. Many people credit him and his music with helping them to get sober and to stay sober.
Wow.
He has a great song called Angel that he put out at Christmas that speaks to it beautifully. So My Hog Forever is just a sign of support for Tom and his music. So,
oh, that's cool.
So God, I mean, think about this. There's some pain or whatever in his life that made him start medicating with alcohol. Mm-hmm. And then after that, you know, he got addicted to alcohol. Mm-hmm. Then he had to struggle and climb uphill to beat it. And then he had to struggle and pray to stay beating it. Mm-hmm. So all of that is probably millions of seconds of suffering that has literally saved the lives of so many people. Mm-hmm. So, like, in that one situation, you might say, "Man, God's really being hard on this guy. Mm-hmm. Why don't you answer him the way that we want him to be answered?" Mm-hmm. But at the same time, it's like, whoa, wait a second here. He's probably, who knows, 600-700 people. I mean, one person's enough for me. Mm-hmm. If his suffering saved Dorian, I would be good with it. Yeah. You know, I would say it's worth everything.
Right.
And he's done that a million times over. So, like, you know, as a person who, you know, I mean, people kind of can piece together the background and the whatever. Like, I've seen some human suffering in the, you know, in the world, and participated in it and caused it and been on the receiving end of it, whatever. It would be one thing. This is what I told Ian in our conversation. I said, "Look, little bro, it would be one thing if I just believed that by just blind faith. Mm-hmm. If I just had blind faith, you know, that would be one thing as a Christian. But I've seen reversal happen so many times.
Right, exactly.
I've been through, you know, 6 childbirths, you know, like, I've just seen it happen over and over and over again. That's why I believe it. There's so many examples of God just completely reversing this stuff. Mm-hmm. And that's what you know, that's what's important to me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, is watching God do that, and it makes me go, oh, okay, this is real. This is really real. It's an observed truth. So some of the, you know, that and I know it's a tough pill to swallow, like you are suffering for the betterment of other people, because that has massively horrific implications.
Well, yeah, especially if
There's
it's
a
not just
lot
an
of-
event.
Right.
Like, you know, when I had the miscarriage, it was an event. There are some people that have chronic pain in their body every single day from the time they wake up till the time they go to bed. To me, that's like,
Yeah, I think I disagree with you there.
why?
Because if you told me, okay, man, you get gout, which is chronic pain throughout your whole body, or you don't have Orion, I would take the gout.
I would too.
So the miscarriage is an event, but it has a lifelong consequence.
It does. Yeah.
Right, but I believe, you know, we're very big pro-lifers yet. Like, I believe that your miscarriage and all those things God has put in the bucket,
Yeah.
and you're gonna see that that new babies were born because yours went home early. I really believe that. And again, I'm not saying I believe that because I'm a naive. I'm saying it because I've seen it over and over and over and over again a million times, where God has just like reversed it. And like this song is kind of like meta at certain levels, because as he's complaining, why aren't you answering my prayer, in the song itself contains the answer. Because I mean, it's 3 million views. It's only been up for a week and a half, 2 weeks or whatever. Like, it's helping people. And, you know, I think, you know, I think the Catholic Church goes too far with the concept of redemptive suffering. But because
it goes to self-inflicted.
Right. It's a forgotten truth or principle in Protestantism, modern Protestantism, that we need to bring back. We also suffer in order to participate in God's healing of the world. And so whether it's a Tom MacDonald who's able to literally reach millions of people, or it's a Sori who's able to reach millions of people, or, you know, like it's or even a guy like Ian who's had a massive impact on my life. There aren't many people that I can think of, you know, aside from the big ones like Spurgeon and Piper and all the rest of it, and you, obviously, and my kids, that have impacted my life the way Ian has. So like there's just so many of them, and so I believe it. But it's a deep song, man. It's deep, and it's one of those things where I wish it's really, really interesting. Now, obviously, at the root ground level, if I'm playing theologian here, the church can only help insofar as we're presenting Christ as a solution. So the church isn't the solution. It's the Christ that the church presents to the world that is the solution. And so that's the most important part of it.
I mean, maybe he knows that. It's like, if I was like, I'm starving, I need to get to the grocery store. I need the grocery store. Well, the grocery store is not gonna, I need the food that's in the grocery store.
Yeah.
You know, so maybe he understands that when he says, and maybe see, that's the thing. Like, you don't have to go necessarily to church to meet with God. You can meet with God anywhere, but there is value in being with other people that I guess you could say are further along spiritually than you are. Like going to the gym
100%.
when, you know, you need to get in shape. Being around other people, other motivated people is good, you know. So being around a spiritually good environment is good for you.
100%.
So, I mean, I know that
agree.
it can be negative as well. You know, it depends on where you're at, you know. So I do understand that, but
Yeah. No, I agree. 100%. 100%. Okay. Really, really good song. It's a 9.2 for me.
it's a 10 for me because, first of all, I do like the way that he presents his music, and the way that the song kind of like went. I really liked it, and I really do like that I can understand what he's saying. Like I was able to watch the video and hear.
He's very accessible.
He's very accessible. So I like that. And obviously it hit me emotionally, you know, at different parts in it. And then I think that it's a really important message, and I think that it's an important message to hear from somebody who's not even a Christian. Like
I'm not
seemingly,
sure that
I guess
he's
he
not a
doesn't
Christian.
present himself as a Christian. You know what I mean? Like he's saying God's not hearing and stuff like that. Like he's not like, I'm a Christian, here's my music. And I think that that's what I like about it, is that and it's real too.
Well, he says, I can't read, but the Bible's still with me.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, and we've had this conversation, right? Like, what are the boundaries that make a person a Christian? Like, we don't have, the New Testament doesn't have a shahada like, you know, Islam, where it's like, boom, like people got saved in so many different ways. You know, it's remember me when you come into your kingdom. Okay, you're in. You know, like, you know, Peter. You know, when was Peter a believer? He didn't believe in the resurrection. And so I'm not sure that he's not a Christian.
Yeah, I'm saying it in the technical sense. Like
he's not coming out and saying I'm a Christian artist.
Right. It's kind of like Jordan Peterson. You know what I mean? Like. You're kind of like, where are you at, actually? Because it's starting to look like...
I feel like Jordan Peterson's different to me. Like, Jordan Peterson is a guy who, you know, he's a disciple of Jung, so he's got this sort of, like, religious figures are archetypes. They're not necessarily real in the, like, ontological sense, but they're real in the utilitarian sense. Like, there's a lot of utility to making... And I just... He kind of was, like, above it all and kind of, like, playing with it. And then he got just smacked with life and smacked with the concept of his own mortality and the mortality of his wife, who's basically his rock. And, you know... It was just one of those situations, man, where it was like, now he's dealing with theological questions in a more like, how does this relate to me type of situation, instead of saying like, whereas this seems like Tom's already there. Like, it doesn't seem like he's like wrestling with these concepts in the way that Jordan Peterson is. I mean, he's saying he can't read, but the Bible's with him. Well, what does that mean? That means he's memorized it. How can the Bible be with you if you can't read? You know, I think what he's saying is like, he's saying my eyes can't see from the bottles of whiskey. So like, even when he's in a drunken stupor.
And he's right. And that's what he's saying. I totally misunderstood that. Right.
Even in a drunken stupor, when he's like so blasted he can't read, the Bible's still in it. And that's true. We used to tell people all the time. Some of you have come to church high. Some of you have come to church drunk. I don't care. We've had people up there and they're like talking about God, and you can tell they're clearly inebriated. But we let them up there anyway. Because whatever. Right? Like,
oh, those were my favorite.
Because we believe that the supernatural overrides the natural in that situation. So like, yeah, to me, like, I have no doubts that he's a Christian. He might not be a very good one, but I mean,
neither are we.
I'm putting this in scare quotes. He's got tattoos, long hair, he raps, he's kind of edgy, he swears, you know, like,
that's it, you out.
And that's one of those things where it's kind of like the Christian music scene is kind of like
boring.
Well, it's not boring, just kind of corny, you know, like just to focus on the family, suburban subdivision type Christian music. You know what I mean? Like, and I think that I think the prevalence of the internet creates a sort of more necessity for authenticity, because if you try to pretend that you're some Christian whatever and that you're just such a great person, everybody's a journalist now. Yo, I saw Tom MacDonald. He was drinking. He ain't like back in the day. Like
that girl that was a vegan.
Right. That girl was a vegan. Her whole entire YouTube channel was about veganism.
Then she was on like some vacation.
And the whole thing was bullshit. Like she was eating, you know, a chicken sandwich or whatever, and like she lost like 1 million subs a day. You can't do that anymore. Like dudes people will see you. Like they know. Like that's why, you know, like I am the way that I am here. Like you know, like people see that shit on you know. But like back in but I guarantee you, a lot of the Christian, you know, that you listened to growing up in youth group, I guarantee you they were in the middle of all that shit.
Oh yeah.
But they were
couldn't say
able to hide it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you know, you could pretend for the media, you could pretend for the camera. Now everybody, you know, so now who knows? Maybe that's going to create a crop of very good, awesome Christian artists that are no longer trash.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's a 10 for me.
There you are, dear listener. And the moral of the story is you're going to suffer. You suffer for everybody. Join us. Vin out.
Sorry, out.
Gone.